go home?
So ready. Just one stop I need to make first. Kendall's hearing.
Kendall has enough backup, Greenlee. She has Zach, Ryan, and Jackson.
But she needs me.
Thanks, I owe you one.
No problem. Just stick with the script. You may be okay.
All right. Hey.
A plea deal, or don't we?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the DA just signed on. The judge, however, may be a slightly harder sell.
Meaning what?
Meaning that as long as we stick with extreme emotional duress, you're going to be just fine.
Emotional duress? As in what, I was going crazy? No, Jack, I knew exactly what I was doing to Greenlee, and I will admit that to the judge. My mind when I set up Greenlee, and I'm not going to say that I was.
Kendall, nobody's asking you to. This is just a technicality. But let's be honest here. You were very close to your breaking point.
I was clear and rational.
How are you rational? Finding in the park with Spike and the gun, that's rational?
That was part of my plan.
Your plan was insane.
Well, no more than yours was.
Telling Greenlee that her embryos were still viable was a bad idea. And yes, maybe I feel badly, maybe I feel guilty about it. It doesn't matter, it's in the past. We can't change that, but we're not going to throw away our future.
Okay, Zach, how can I make you understand how I feel?
Honestly, it's going to be a little bit difficult because you're not making a whole lot of sense right now, Kendall.
Okay, see, you of all people, I thought that you would understand.
What do you want me to say? I don't like what you did any more than you do.
You weren't yourself.
Okay, well then who was I?
You were a woman at your breaking point.
Who was terrified that Greenlee was going to harm our son. That's who you
You guys, listen, I'm tired of lying, okay? I'm tired of making excuses for myself. I'm not going to lie to the judge.
You're going to say whatever Jack tells you to say.
No, Zach, I'm sorry, but I won't.
You're going to go to prison, Kendall. All right, and what about Spike? Hasn't he been through enough? I mean, what do you want him to do? Say goodbye to his mother, Kendall? Is that what you want?
No, of course not.
Then what?
No.
Of course not. What do you want to do? You going to raise our boys from a prison cell? Jack, little help, please.
Kendall, I would suggest you listen to them, because here's the fact. Without this plea, you're looking at 20 to 40 years.
Did you hear that? This is not a game.
Just think about what you're doing, Kendall, okay? Just think about it.
If Greenlee were convicted, how many years? How many years would she get?
Kendall, that didn't happen, and it's not going to.
Jack, you're her father. Remember what I did. Greenlee was a fugitive because of me. She nearly died because of me.
Let it go. It's over.
No, it's not over. It will never be over for Greenlee or me until I stand up and own what I did.
But you can barely stand. They'll let go to a courtroom.
So we'll take the wheelchair.
Joe only let you out of hospital today because you promised that you would go straight home to bed. And that's exactly where you're going.
Aidan, I'll find someone else to take me where I need to go.
Well, good luck with that.
Really? You're gonna ditch me?
Anybody who gives a damn about you is not going to drag you anywhere else, especially not a courtroom.
What's this about a courtroom?
Kendall's hearing is right now, and I need to go.
No, you don't need to go. It's out of the question. Your immune system has been badly compromised, and I want you on bed rest 24/7.
And that'll happen after the hearing is over.
No, it won't. You've been a whole month with hardly any food and water, locked away underground. Your heart has stopped on 2 separate occasions.
But it's fine now, Joe. I'm going.
Going home is exactly where you're going. I'm not driving you anywhere else, apart from home to bed.
Clear Greenlee.
Kendall, if you're not going to clear Greenlee by pleading guilty, what you need to do is say that you were...
Say that I'm crazy?
All rise. This is the Criminal Court of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The People versus Kendall Hart Slater. Judge Angela March presiding. This court is now in session. Be seated.
Will the people please state the charges?
False reporting to law enforcement, misdemeanor in the 2nd degree. Tampering with physical evidence, misdemeanor in the 2nd degree. Burglary, felony in the 1st degree. Criminal trespass, felony in the 3rd degree. Forgery, misdemeanor in the 1st degree.
Kendall Hart Slater, do you understand the charges against you?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And how do you plead?
Your Honor, if I may.
I plead guilty.
Your Honor,
No,
again.
guilty. That's my plea.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
Will the people please state the evidence against the defendant?
On November 2nd, as the record states, a dispatcher received an emergency call that Kendall Slater reported that she'd been attacked and drugged, and that her minor child had been abducted again by Greenlee Smythe. And finally, the sworn affidavit of the defendant that her accusations were false.
These are very serious charges, Miss Slater. Are you aware of the penalties involved?
Your Honor, the people and the counsel for the defense have entered into a plea agreement. The Commonwealth recommends a prison term of 2.5 to 5 years, all to be served during a period of probation, along with substantial community service.
And who cooked up the community service plan without informing the court?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. This hearing came up rather quickly,
Okay.
and I didn't...
I get it. But why be so lenient?
Extenuating circumstances.
And those would be?
Your Honor, the defendant committed these acts while under extreme emotional duress, and the defense can demonstrate that Kendall Hart
No,
Slater
I knew
acted...
exactly what I was doing. I knew it was illegal. I wanted Greenlee Smythe to rot in hell.
Than a fabricated crime. And how exactly did you go about it? Your own words. Start with why.
My son, Spike, was in a car accident. Greenlee Smythe was driving. My son sustained internal injuries, and they repaired his spleen. But when he was recovering in the hospital, they discovered something else. Kendall, get the hell away from my son. Don't you touch my son. No, get the hell away from him.
Kendall. There's something wrong with Spike.
Spike is deaf.
I assumed that Greenlee's reckless driving had robbed my son of his ability to hear. He would be deaf for the rest of his life. I resolved to make Greenlee pay for what she did. So I pretended to reach out to her. I told her that I wanted to rebuild our friendship. And she seemed very eager to reconnect. I had access to Greenlee's penthouse, and I planted evidence little by little. I purchased 2 seats on a flight to the U.S. Virgin Islands, a forged birth certificate for her son, and packed a suitcase full of new clothes for Spike.
Your Honor, may I say something?
You may not.
My wife is dealing with some misplaced guilt, and I
Don't
think
force
maybe...
me to have you removed from my courtroom. Please, be seated. Mrs. Slater, on the night of the actual incident.
I stole chloroform from the hospital. And I asked Greenlee to meet me at the boathouse. I pretended that I needed a friend to talk to about Spike's upcoming cochlear implant surgery. She was happy to meet me. She was kind and supportive and unsuspecting. Then I pretended to get an emergency phone call. I told Greenlee that my husband, Zach, had been hurt. So I asked her to stay with Spike at the boathouse. I insisted she stay exactly where she was. When she was tending to my son, I hid close by. I reported that Greenlee drugged me and snatched my boy right out of my arms. Then I chloroformed myself so that the police would find me. When they showed up, I swore that Greenlee had kidnapped my son.
You framed an innocent woman, subjected her to false arrest, squandered valuable police hours, resources of the justice system to satisfy your lust for revenge?
Your Honor, if I may interject...
No,
my client's
Mr.
defense-
Montgomery, you may not. What prompted you to finally tell the truth?
Because of my false accusations, Greenlee panicked and ran. And she almost died.
So you were ultimately motivated by pity?
I also discovered my son had been losing his hearing gradually over a long period of time. Not from the accident. So Greenlee Smythe had nothing to do with my son going deaf. Greenlee Smythe isn't guilty of anything, and I'm here to clear her name.